Hello, welcome to Garden Chronicles. My name is James David, and in today's video I would like to talk about this particular plant known as Tradescantia Nanouk, and in comparison with another Tradescantia species known as Purple Queen. I will be upfront with you and explain to you that this particular video is taken from a local nursery here in Sungai Buloh. I would humbly mention that I do not own this particular plant due to the fact that this is super sensitive plant and also very finicky. Based on my personal opinion and many experiences from many of my garden friends, which I find that they have hard times and tough time with this particular plant because of their unpredictable temperament. When it comes to Nanouk, it is very much more on a temperate plants, meaning it requires cold freezing nights and very much on a humidity factor. And because of this, these are very much ideal as highland plants. Due to such nature, which I do not have those conditions in my garden, I doubt this particular plant can handle and stand the low humidity and the hot blazing sun that is so unpredictable when it comes to my garden condition. But let's say you have got this particular plant or gifted to you. What I can mention to you here is that do watch out for root rot and stem rot. That is the number one enemy for this particular plant when it comes to sensitivity. Hence, what you really have to watch out for is the potting medium, as if it's too wet, the rotting may take place. I'm pretty sure you would have noticed some patches in between of the potted plants where the emptiness denote the telltale sign of the rot and the affected plants being removed. I'm actually having mixed feelings with Nanouk. However, it is not an impossible plant to cultivate. Think of it as a fuchsia plant. The plant care and need is very much similar to that. Bright shaded area, fast draining medium with rich organic substance, and cold freezing nights. There's another factor that I've noticed that one time ago, roughly about 3 to 4 years ago, this particular plant is very expensive due to the fact that it was actually imported. I would like to share a funny story with you. I was actually visiting a nursery and I saw this particular plant was in display and was appearing to be very beaten up with burns all over the plant. I asked the vendor if it was actually for sale or was actually for offer price, and was rudely rebuked, as I was told that it was imported and kept for propagation for future sale. Mind you, what I saw was a meager 3-node plant with 4 cuttings, and the price tag was 75 ringgit. That was then. Now it is appearing to be very much affordable due to supply over demand. Somehow, based on my garden condition, I would still rather skip and save the expenses for something which is more practical in my garden condition, even though the plant is now very much affordable. Now, coming back to a comparison plant, this particular Tradescantia is known as Purple Queen. I must make an emphasis here that Purple Queen is considered a very hardy plant, and in context with that, it's actually a very old plant. In a way, you can say it has been cultivated here for many decades. So in a way, I can say that it is sort of like moved out from a vendor's sale plant. In a way, it has become more on a hand-me-down plants, which you can actually find a lot that's been cultivated along the roadside and even among gardeners of the times of old. So for me, it's considered a little bit strange when I find that this particular one is actually sold here in this nursery, as I find that it's sort of like a very common plant that actually grow along the street side, and they're actually selling it here. So it's sort of give me a skeptical kind of a feeling. It's like, are you sure? Are you this for real? But I must tell you that this particular plant is very good. I have cultivated it, and I would like to share some thoughts about this particular Purple Queen. Unlike Tradescantia Nanouk, Purple Queen requires bright hot sun area. In a way, that is the one that actually makes the color purple. You can cultivate it in shaded area or bright shade, but mind you that it will become very leggy and will look for light. One of the unpopular names that is been used as Wandering Jew is for the very characteristics where this particular plant appears to be sort of like trailing away from the potted plant. And I have actually experienced that when I find that when the plant goes to a leggy kind of a situation where it actually gets very long and unsightly, which requires a lot of pruning, in a way keep that plant compact. However, it's not a high maintenance plant. You can actually grow it whatever medium, even though it's a poor soil condition or rich soil condition, it will thrive regardless of those kind of factors. So do take note that this is not fall into the rare plant category, unlike Nanouk. Another unique factor about this particular purple queen is that I find that their root ball seems to become very invasive in a way that it conquers the whole root ball in the pot, and that way I find that whatever that grows inside that pot gets choked. So you may have to prune and replant back the pruned pieces, or you may have to stop cutting the thing and let new shoots to grow. However, because they are being pruned, the whole thing become a thick root ball, and it's sort of like being choked and the whole thing dies. So this is the one setbacks that you have to look into when it comes to purple queen. But let's say if you were growing it on an open land, like a landscape plant on ground factor, I find that there should not be a problem. And the other thing here is that do take note about the sap. They can be a little bit on an irritation factor, because it does come on the toxic level of when it comes to skin irritation. Apart from that, I have not come across any pest problems, and as long as it gets good sun and rain, this particular plant is hardy and good to go. So I have come to the conclusion of my video. One plant, one Tradescantia Nanouk, being a sensitive and the rare type, in comparison with purple queen, which is hardy and a very common plant. So I hope you're able to compare the difference, though both appears to be almost alike, but they are of two different characteristics. So here I would really like if you can click like and subscribe my channel, and I hope if you can put in your comments below on your thoughts on anything about concerning of this plant. So until then, catch you in my next video. Take care and have a nice day. Bye.